Breaking down all 17 things you missed from Survivor Season 43, Episode 9. We are talking all things Owen versus James, Carla winning the challenge, Noelle's big move, and much more. As always, careful for any spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. And make sure to stick around as we announce last week's buff giveaway winner. And look at that, yay, the merge buffs finally came in. If you want to enter next week's buff giveaway, make sure to subscribe to the channel as we're on the road to 6,000 subscribers. Leave a like on the video and comment down below who your favorite player of Season 43 is. Let's get started with number 17, Owen is stressed. Sammy's gonna give us the recap of the episode. It ended up being Janine going home. Sammy didn't want that to happen, but he didn't have the numbers, so he ended up just going along with the plan anyway. The problem is this screwed over Owen, so Owen needs to go talk to Gabler and Sammy with what all went down. We're gonna see a flashback of last week of Owen, James, Sammy talking together, and honestly this whole conversation is gonna be a main talking point throughout the entire episode, as this causes so much drama and I'm loving every second of it. If for some reason you forgot what happened, last week Owen talks to James and says, hey, who should I vote for? He basically says, just give me a name, I'll do whatever you want. James gives Owen the wrong name on purpose, making Owen look like a fool. But surprise, surprise, we didn't know this last week. Gabler informed Owen on the actual plan seconds before travel. Number 16, Owen versus James. I wouldn't say this is where the big explosion takes place, more of a little boom, a little fire to start the episode. James is gonna ask Owen if he wants to talk, and Owen's just like, nah, not really. I don't want to talk with you. Finally, some conflict in our Survivor episodes. A main complaint people have had with this new era is not much conflict between the players. Former Survivor player Victoria from Edge of Extinction is loving the fighting that's going on. And don't worry, there's gonna be more fighting this episode. We're gonna talk about it when we get there. Number 15, Matt Chat. Crazy slow-mo, and I wasn't expecting this. Like 5 minutes into the episode, we're going right to the immunity challenge. We also see Jeff trying a weird British accent, I think. It was a whole weird situation. I'm glad we're past it. Basically, the 10 remaining players are going to be divided into teams of 5 where both teams are going to have an immunity winner. Number 14, immunity and reward. Normally during these immunity challenges, I'm one of those people that says, I really want to try this for myself. That won't be the case for this one. Although it's fairly simple, a ball drops and you're out. The whole device surrounding it's super complex. I don't know how to build this. You got to hold a handle that clamps the ball tight, and if at any point the ball drops, you're going to be out of the challenge. There's also going to be a reward component to this challenge as well. Last person standing wins the reward for their team, and it's going to be a PB&J sandwich. They also get to go to tribal council last and see who the first team voted out. Number 13, the challenge. We'll start with the red team. This team's going to consist of Cassidy, Jesse, Gabler, Ryan, and Cody. And then we have the blue team consisting of Owen, Sammy, Noelle, Carla, and James. Pretty impressive. Carla's still working with a damaged hand from a few episodes ago during the merge or fake merge challenge. And you gotta remember, this whole challenge is focused on your grip. We get the title of an episode of a conversation between Gabler and Carla. Let's just roll the clip.
Way to go, big boys. Stay in there. Focus.
What about the big girls, huh?
You too. Yeah, Carla. You got it, Carla.
Carla wins the challenge on the blue team, almost losing focus. But the ultimate winner is going to be Cody from the red team, winning PB&J sandwiches for his entire team. Number 12, winning group. It's PB&J time, and we get a nice callback to a couple episodes ago as Cody finally wins a challenge. If you remember correctly, during the challenge, Gabler ends up winning. Cody talks about how he's doing that challenge for his high school wrestling days as he's finally getting revenge. Well, he finally gets revenge right here. More on the Survivor strategy side of things, with teams of 5, all you need is a 3-person majority to vote someone out. And the winning group is gonna decide between Ryan and Cassidy for who's going home. Number 11, Cassidy flashback. I might be sounding a little bit like a broken record, but whenever I see a flashback and that person's in danger of going home, I 100% for some reason think that person is going home. The producers, you tricked me again. I'm not the only person that got tricked here, as Rick Devins and basically the entire Survivor Twitter community got tricked right here. Basically, the entire flashback is about Cassidy playing Survivor for her sister that passed away. Number 10, Carla's game plan. Now we're gonna spend a little bit of time with the losing group, the team that's gonna be going to tribal council first. And ultimately, I think this is the more interesting of the two groups for everything that's going on, especially for the fighting between Owen and James. I'm so excited to talk about it. But first, we gotta see Carla talking about how proud she is for winning an immunity challenge. And she brings up a really good point. Winning the immunity challenge in a scenario like this means she's guaranteed to make final 8 now because there's 2 people going home tonight. Anyways, Carla's first game plan is to vote Owen out. That's the obvious game plan. It's never gonna be that easy. Number 9, Owen versus James, round 2. Let's go. This is what I've been waiting for. This feels so real to me, and I want more of this. I've been missing this so far in the new era of Survivor. And it makes sense why arguments, real arguments like this take place in Survivor. This should be these players' dream, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They should be fighting for their life to stay in the game every single week, every single episode. And I mean, come on, they're getting zero sleep, zero food in their belly. They're not thinking straight, so there should be some fighting going on. We talked about it earlier in the video. This entire fight's based on James telling Owen the wrong name last episode. But to be fair for James, it goes a little past that, as Owen has written James' name down before. We had a little explosion earlier, but as James and Owen walk into camp, we finally get the huge explosion. Meanwhile, we have Noelle asking if anyone wants some papaya, and a nice little callback to the Sandra Game Changers moment. Number 8, Jesse and Cody. Again, a little less interesting of a tribal council, a little less interesting of a dynamic. Jesse and Cody ultimately decide who goes home here. And Jesse brings up a really good point. Although you're only with 5 people right now, the other group is going to be affected by your decision tonight. Ryan's a beast physically in the challenge. It'd be good to get him out for a physical sense, but he has no strategic gameplay. Whereas Cassidy is a strategic threat in the game, but she has allies on the other side, so it could be dangerous to vote her out. Number 7, bring Gabler in. Jesse and Cody decide that Gabler is basically the perfect ally to have, so they bring him in on their plan. And for once, I fully agree. I think Gabler is the perfect ally in this situation. You gotta remember, Gabler doesn't have many allies left, so he's a free agent in the game. But I would also argue Gabler's more of an old school type Survivor player, which means he's gonna stick to his alliance. This is literally the perfect kind of ally to have in the game. Number 6, Noelle's big brain move. Is it a smart move? I don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, but I will tell you 100% for sure this is a move Noelle makes. I guess it's a move for making a move. Even Noelle says she woke up this morning wanting to make a move, so I feel like that's more what went down here.
I woke up this morning wanting to make a big move.
Noelle tells James she's gonna steal Owen's vote so he can't use his shot in the dark, which makes sense. If you're voting Owen out, that's a really good idea. But secretly, Noelle doesn't want to vote Owen out. She wants to vote James out. The plan is to do all this bizarre smoke screening to make James feel safe and not use his knowledge's power or shot in the dark. Noelle decides to go right to Owen and Sammy about this so they know about the plan. Number 5, Sammy and Carla. What Sammy tries to do here, and I mean it ultimately works out, so good job for Sammy, but it's high risk, high reward type situation. Hear me out for a second. Sammy really wants James to go home. Carla really wants Owen to go home, but the only problem is Sammy really wants to work with Carla later and doesn't want Carla to feel blindsided by Sammy. Sammy's got his work cut out for him. He's got to convince Carla it's a smarter move to vote out James. That way Carla won't feel blindsided when James gets voted out. And I mean, Marianne brings up a really good point on Twitter. Maybe Carla just wants the knowledge's power gone. Number 4, first tribal. I've been saying this every week throughout Survivor 43. Most of these tribal councils have been fairly boring and kind of meh. This was awesome here, seeing some actual fighting at tribal council between Owen and James. Once again, Noelle gives out a great line about there being too much testosterone, and Mike Bloom's able to relate this to all the Survivor male winners. Noelle goes through with her big move, big brain plan, steals Owen's vote. Number 3, James voted out. I bet for sure 100% James will be a bitter juror at final tribal council, and ultimately I'm just happy that the knowledge's power is back out of the game. I have a really scary feeling the producers are just gonna throw it right back into the game, but no, leave it dead. No one wants the knowledge's power. Number 2, second tribal. Everyone has shocked faces going into tribal council with seeing James voted out of the game. This is where things get a little confusing and where the episode falls a little flat for me. Going into the second tribal, I thought 100% it was going to be Cassidy going home. Specifically because a combo earlier in the episode between Cody and Jesse, they talked about if James ends up going home, they should vote Cassidy out. Well, they don't end up voting Cassidy out. It's really weird. We gotta talk about this real quick. Cassidy gives a great callback to the monster of Survivor, the new era monster. Number 1, Ryan voted out. Anyways, congratulations, Will. You're this week's buff giveaway winner. Click right here for 150 things you didn't know about Survivor.